Hello, I'm David Lucas, your learning engineer for Module 5. And I wanted to explain the title first and explain a little bit of the reason why this module is entitled and sort of captured the way that it is. This is the voices of people with disabilities. Module 5, the voices of people with disabilities. The reason this is so important is because often people with disabilities have little or no voice in the mainstream social structure of the country of the United States and many other countries. So historically, we want to look back a moment at those who gained a voice or were able to gain a platform, then to bring to the table or bring to the dialogue of the country or the political system the needs and the importance of looking at people with disabilities for in a legal aspect or whatever, policies and procedures. And looking at the past and all the people that we could identify, Franklin Delano Roosevelt is the one we want to key on in this module. Now, it's not that he was the only important person. You know, Roosevelt is an important political figure. He is an important war figure, a person who guided the country through World War II, but also bringing the people out of the great calamity of the Depression. But there's more to his story than that. Early in his life, as a young man, he was afflicted with polio. It really hampered him from being able to do much of anything. And looking at the historical documents and the items, you'll be able to discover that FDR became a person who struggled through the disability that he had and rose above it in a literal sense, and then was able to gain a national and in many regards an international voice, and became a voice for people with disabilities. So as we look at the reading that you have, chapters 10 through 12, and also thinking in terms of scurrying through the internet and looking at some of the things we find out about FDR and disabilities, you'll be able to discover that he really worked hard. He broke some of the rules that we now have, we're going to look at later even, with a person with disabilities. He sort of masked his disability. There are only 2 pictures of FDR in a wheelchair, for example. So he never wanted to be pictured as a wheelchair user. He often had people help him walk to the stage and walk away from the stage, and often had podiums built so that he could rest in the podium and deliver his speeches. But there is a psychology behind this in that he felt, and was probably right at the time, if you look at the culture at the time, that he would not have been accepted as a person and as a leader in his day. And yet, because he maintained this vibrant voice in the culture at the time, he became a powerful leader, not only in politics, not only in international diplomacy, but also as a person speaking for those with disabilities. His wife played a central role in helping with those people who needed voice also. So let's take a look in this module thinking about Franklin Delano Roosevelt, but far beyond that, the way his time and the posture of the country at that time and the culture and where we find ourselves today, and look at Franklin Delano Roosevelt and the voices of those with disabilities.